Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We are here with round two, our Thursday evening league, the Pacific Rim Championship. The Pacific Rim Championship drivers will take to the Group 3 cars made in either the USA or Japan and race them for 10 rounds in their homelands or in their opponent's backyard, and a randomly drawn double points neutral location in two 40-minute endurance format races with almost free tyre compound choice. Strategies are going to be key. Also, points will only be awarded for the results of race 2. So breaking that down, we're going to have two 40-minute races. God, there's people watching. Good afternoon, says Racer Brown, and Pat says, hello, good afternoon. So we're going to have two 40-minute races. They're allowed to use super soft racing tyres only once between the two races, and points will only be awarded at the end of race 2. So you've got to think of the split in the middle of the two races like a safety car closing up the grid. So it's just one long race split into two. Right, the grid is a randomly drawn number. We'll reverse the grid from that number, and I believe before round 2, number 3 was drawn, which put Gazman, as you can see there, on pole. So we have Gazman on pole, who's third in the championship. Boosted Alpha in second place, who I think he is second place in the championship. I do have the championship. Give me 2 ticks. So the championship stands. Racer Brown is at the top with 22 points. Boosted Alpha is second with 17 points. Gazman third, 15 points. Shadow Rider fourth, 13 points. Alpha Nut is in fifth with 11 points. Homesick Alien is sixth with 10 points. Cthulhu is seventh with 9 points. Skyjacker is 8th with 8 points. Noxie is 9th with 7 points. Jokers is 10th with 6 points. 11th for Dutch with 5 points. 12th for Rivixter on 4 points. And World RXR Racing didn't take part, so he didn't get any points. So that's the table, and like I said, it's reversed from third place in the championship. So Gazman was on pole. Boosted Alpha in second. Then we have Racer Brown sitting third, the winner from last week in his Mitsubishi. The Japanese manufacturers did really well last week. Now Alpha Nut there fourth. It doesn't look like we have Shadow Rider this week, so Alpha Nut moving up into fourth. Homesick Alien, the top American manufacturer, with his Mustang sitting in fifth on the grid. Skyjacker there in the Corvette in sixth. Seventh for Noxie in the Atenza. 8th for Jokers in the second Corvette. 9th for Dutch in the GT, Ford GT. 10th for Rivixter in his Subaru. And 11th there for Nude Lester, and he is in I'm not sure. We'll see when the race starts. It's American, I'm pretty sure. So going back to that and that, we'll get this first part of the race. Remember, they're allowed to use super softs only once in the two races. So it's when they're going to get those super softs on and get their heads down and crack on. So we'll start the race. We're closing in on Gazman there, sitting on pole. The Subarus had a really good showing last week, like I said. So starting from the front, it's going to be a cool fish for them. We're waiting for the green lights, and there it goes. Gazman, a bit of tyre smoke from Gazman, but he's made a good getaway. Further back though, it looks like Alpha Nut is up into third already. Gazman still holding that first place ahead of Alpha Nut, with Boosted Alpha in third. Racer Brown down to fourth, but he's getting attacked by Skyjacker. Skyjacker there got a great inside line moving into these next few corners, but no, Racer Brown is fully ahead of Skyjacker. Joker's up to 6th. Homesick Alien's dropped down to 7th with Noxie in 8th. Dutch there fighting with Rivixter. Oh, he's dropped back behind Rivixter and Nude Lester, but Nude Lester coming up against Rivixter. Rivixter is in the Mustang as well, like with Homesick Alien. So Noodlester moving ahead of Rivixter, and Dutch there in the GT, Ford GT in 11th. So leading the race is Gazman ahead of Boosted Alpha. Boosted Alpha has somehow got ahead of these guys. Skyjacker in 4th, Alpha Nut up into 3rd, so Racer Brown dropping somewhat. Homesick Aliens moved up, Jokus in 7th, Noxie, Nude Leicester, Rivixter, and it looks like Dutch trying to make a move on Rivixter, but Rivixter coming back at Dutch. Dutch going wide, and we just saw Nude Leicester having a spin. He's had a small spin in that Martini Mustang, so he's got a lot of catching up to do, but it's a very long race. Gazman still leading the way in his Subaru, ahead of Boosted Alpha in his Subaru. Both of these are on soft tyres at the moment. Alpha Nut also on the soft tyres in his Honda NSX. Behind him we have Skyjacker, the top American manufacturer. He's also on the soft tyres, with Racer Brown in the super soft tyres. So Racer Brown opting to go for his super soft session early on in this race. Get it out of the way, he says, but he's got some traffic. He's really stuck to the back of Skyjacker. Oof, let's have a see what we can do with that. And there we are, sat on board with Racer Brown as he is attacking Skyjacker in his Corvette. Ahead of them, Gazman pulling away from Boosted Alpha, with Alpha Nut in 3rd, and it looks like Skyjacker going out wide in that corner. Racer Brown with his super soft's got loads of traction in the mid corner, and he's getting a good drive on Skyjacker, but Skyjacker staying defensive there. And now Racer Brown still just has to bide his moment and wait for the time to come when he can make the leap up the inside of Skyjacker. Behind them, Homesick Alien looking like it's a bit of a lonely race there. He can see the fight ahead. I suppose he's hoping there was Racer Brown. He's up the inside of Skyjacker in the hairpin. Can Skyjacker maintain it around the outside? But no, it looks like Racer Brown, but no, Skyjacker's still showing ahead. So Skyjacker, unbelievable stuff there, maintaining that Corvette around the outside on the racing soft tyres, making Racer Brown do all the work, and it still hasn't paid off for Racer Brown. He's still back in 5th place on his super soft tyres. This is hurting his race strategy. Homesick Alien catching these guys up from their earlier racing, and there we see Jokus in 7th, just ahead of Noxie. Noxie catching up Jokus there. Nude Leicester is up into 9th, ahead of Rivixter, and Dutch down in 11th. They look pretty spaced out at the back there. So Boosted Alpha is ahead of Gazman. We missed that. I'll have to go back, I apologise. A change for the lead. It's oh god, it's quite far back. I was so busy. Ooh, it looks like it was into the chicane. So Boosted Alpha chasing down Gazman. And we go into the chicane. It looks okay so far, but there looks like Boosted Alpha getting a better drive out of the corner and just goes a little bit ahead. Looks like Boosted Alpha borrowed a bit more curve than Gazman was willing to go for. And now they fight it out the next couple of corners, with Boosted Alpha ahead of Gazman. Alpha Nut sitting in a lovely 3rd. We saw that fight between Skyjacker and Racer Brown. That's going on at the moment, what we've already seen. And that is how Boosted Alpha grabbed the lead of this race on lap 2 in his Subaru on the racing soft tyres, coming around to complete the 2nd lap. We've got 2 40-minute races ahead of us, so there is a long way to go. Boosted Alpha leading from Gazman. Alpha Nut in a great 3rd place, keeping up with the guys ahead of him. Could be down to tyre wear, this one. Oh, Boosted Alpha hanging it out on those curves. It's a brave move to do. Risky strategy. He wants to get away from Gazman, give himself a buffer. Gazman hunting him down. And there is Alpha Nut staying up with the pair of them. Skyjacker maintaining that 4th place ahead of Racer Brown, but now Racer Brown's got his hands full with a Mustang, all in his mirrors. Homesick Alien will be looking to try. Oh gosh, do I have to do it every time? Homesick Alien will be trying his best to get past the Mitsubishi ahead of him, whilst the Mitsubishi is attacking Skyjacker. It looks like the Racer Brown up alongside again, trying to get the inside for the hairpin. We saw Skyjacker pulling over defensive onto the inside line, and they have to stay in station for the time being. And this 3-way battle there between Skyjacker, Racer Brown and Homesick Alien continuing on. Boosted Alpha He got the fastest lap on lap 2 with a 33.3. Gazman a 34.3. Dropped about a second on him, but he doesn't look a second behind. Coming through, Alphanut still staying up with them. Then we've got the Corvette of Skyjacker ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown's pulled out of the tow. He's going for the line. Homesick Aliens decided to go between the two of them. Three wide into the corner, but it looks like Skyjacker's in first. Then Racer Brown, Homesick Alien slightly up the inside of Racer Brown. Can he do it off the curb? No, I think Racer Brown just too far ahead, and the Corvette is trying to find the racing line that best suits him and keeps his competitors behind him, Racer Brown and Homesick Alien. All the pressure in the world for poor Skyjacker there, sitting in 4th place. This will be helping Jokus, you imagine. Oh, Jokus under pressure from, he's got his own hands full with Noxie. Noxie up the inside of Jokus. Corvette versus Mazda. The Corvette out really wide there, but he's maintained it. Great save from Jokus, brilliant save. Noxie there going up the inside of Jokus into 7th place. Nude Leicester there in 9th. Just getting used to the Mustang, did a 36.9 his last time around. Jokus a 35.6. So there's more time in that Mustang yet. Rivixter there, 36.6. He's dropped quite a way behind Nude Leicester, and Dutch there in 11th in that GT Ford. Ahead then, Boosted Alpha pulling himself out a little bit of breathing space from Gazman. The two Subarus running away from the Honda of Alphanut. Alphanut earlier in the week saying how he likes his car to slide into the corners. I've noticed before in past races his car being a bit tail happy as he goes into corners, and he sets it up that way. He has his brake bias positioned so he can get a nice slide through a corner. Skyjacker still maintaining that 4th place ahead of Racer Brown. How he does it, I do not know. Racer Brown must be thinking this is a waste of a super soft stint. Skyjacker though, looks like this is the one, but he's on the outside. Is Racer Brown, can he do it? He's on the inside now, and Racer Brown has gone through. Racer Brown moving up into 4th position. Will he run away from Skyjacker? Because Skyjacker looks like he's coming back. Skyjacker alongside Racer Brown, and he's done it, he's done it. The Corvette in the straight line just slightly edges the Mitsubishi, but the Mitsubishi up the inside again, and Skyjacker, he cannot maintain it around the outside this time around, and now he's got the Mustang all looking alongside him. The Mustang's going to make the move. Ford Mustang up into 5th. Not quite, no, the Corvette stays in 5th place. Well done, Skyjacker. Racer Brown now 4th. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. He's lost 5 laps behind the Racing Soft guys, and he wants to get those Super Softs active and working for himself. There is Skyjacker. After all that pressure from Racer Brown, now he's got it all to come from Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien going for the wide line, kicking up a little bit of dirt there. Noxie up into 7th. He's pulled away from Jokus, with Jokus having that small off, but Jokus has got a huge gap ahead of Nude Leicester. Nude Leicester 37.5 next time round for Nude Leicester. Rivixter at 35.8 at this rate. It looks like Rivixter will be catching up, and Nude Leicester will have a race on their hands there. And Dutch, he seems to be struggling with that GT40 at 41.8 last time around. It is a very skittish car next to some of the solid racers that we have going around this track at the moment. Boosted Alpha in the Subaru, then a 33.7 for him last time around on lap 5. His tyres are looking absolutely fresh as a daisy, and his fuel half full. There is Gazman. He's got a little bit more fuel than Boosted Alpha. His tyres looking of a similar state. So I think we've got a while until we see some pit stops for those Racing Soft guys. Alphanut just behind him, similar fuel. He's getting purples. He's dropped back a little bit from him. Racer Brown, he's got to be a man on the move. He did a 35.4 his last time around, but that was the lap when he was trying to get past Skyjacker. It'll be this lap we would like to see. Skyjacker still maintaining that 5th place ahead of the Mustang. The Mustang is harrying him. Homesick Alien, is he going to throw it up the inside? He's thinking about it, but the Corvette there says no way. So the two top American manufacturers in 5th and 6th place, dicing it out here. The Mustang and the Corvette having a great race with each other, and that's it. It looks like with Skyjacker taking a little bit of curb coming out of that corner. Gave Homesick, no, I tell a lie. Skyjacker back up into 5th place It just looked mid-corner, Homesick Alien edging it, but coming out of the corner, the Corvette boosted. And look at Homesick Alien grabbing that toe, grabbing all the toe into this first long winding corner. He's going to try and get an inside line on the Corvette. He's pulling it off, but I think the Corvette, oh, there he goes. Homesick Alien, he designed that and he got it working. He was the architect of that manoeuvre and he pulled it off sweetly. So Homesick Alien up into 5th place. Skyjacker in the Corvette, he's been fighting like a dog all the way through. He's going for the inside line and he pulls it off as well. These two, what a race these two are having. Homesick Alien versus Skyjacker all the way around here at Yamagawa. I don't even think I've told you where this race is. Back on board with Homesick Alien. We're on lap 7 here. We're 10 minutes into a 40-minute race, which then breaks shortly and then resets with the finishing order grid into a rolling start, like there's a safety car situation. We can see cars up ahead of us, cars racing. I don't know if they're lapped cars. It's Racer Brown maybe. So there we see Homesick Alien has made the move on Skyjacker. I was too busy looking up at the other cars. So Boosted Alpha there. Gasman is not that far behind him. Racer Brown, Racer Brown and Alphanaut. It's Racer Brown and Alphanaut that it looks like Homesick Alien's catching up. So Racer Brown somehow getting past Alphanaut. Here we see it happening. Remember, Racer Brown on the super soft tyres. It's got a bit more grip than those guys ahead of him. And he just comes up in the hairpin and he swoops up the inside of the Honda. Beautiful stuff there from Racer Brown on Alphanaut. Alphanaut down into 4th spot. And with that little short squabble, it helps Homesick Alien and Skyjacker get themselves ever closer. Noxie, he's not that far behind the two ahead of him. A 35.0 for Noxie last time around. A 34.8 from Skyjacker and a 34.8 also from Homesick Alien. These two carrying on that battle and it looks like they're catching up. Alphanaut ahead of them, but there you can see the Atenza just in the background of Noxie. So Noxie on his way. He crosses the line and managing a 35.1. Homesick Alien a 34.4 his last time around. Skyjacker a 34.9. So Noxie just has to lift up that pace a little bit more, but he'll be saving fuel unlike the two ahead of him. Alphanaut, he's not that far ahead of these two, but these two carrying on racing, costing themselves time. And there, Homesick Alien, you can see, taking that inside line while the Corvette trying to get around the outside of him. He cannot manage it. There's the same pace between these two drivers. It's unbelievable racing going on here. And Skyjacker trying again on the inside. He's all over the curves. He's lost the back end of the Corvette. He's backed out of it. And there is Homesick Alien also having a bit of a wiggle on. And there we see they both carry on. Still 5th and 6th place to fight another day. And obviously, you know who that helps. Our friend in the Sky liveried Mazda Tenza. He's on his way. 35.1 we said last time round. He's going faster again. I've got to take my woolly hat off because this is getting hot stuff. Zip off me fleecy hoodie. It's quite sunny today, I must say. To say I pretended it's the night time, I won't pretend it's middle of the afternoon. But I am so behind on my races. This is like two rounds of Pacific Rim I'm behind, and 1 round of Super GT. So there we see Noxie in 7th place, chasing down Skyjacker. Skyjacker fighting Homesick Alien. These two have been in a battle all race between the two of them. Boosted Alpha still leading. He's got the fastest lap so far in the race of a 33.362. He's pulled away from Gasman, but Gasman now has his hands full with a Racer Brown catching him up quite quickly. Oh no, he hasn't. I wonder who's behind Gasman then. It must be a lapped car. We'll come across them as we go through the field, but Racer Brown starting to pump in those purple times. Alpha not in 4th place, trying to stay up with them. A 34.6 from Alpha last time round. Racer Brown a 33.7. He's a man on a mission, but he is the only car on the super soft tyres at this point in the race. Alpha not in 4th, Skyjacker in 5th. He's moved ahead of the Alien again. These two just keep on battling all race. And there goes the Alien. He's around the outside. I don't think he's going to manage it. And there's Skyjacker getting up into 5th place, and it's Skyjackers. Skyjacker now top American manufacturer in this race in the Corvette. Fancy a Chevy. Skyjacker then 5th place ahead of Homesick Alien in the Ford Mustang. Then we've got a pit stop. Gazman going in. He's got 1/4 of a tank of fuel left. This is a tactical stop. There isn't much need for fuel or tyres at this point. Racer Brown carrying on up into 2nd. Alphanut also carrying on. Everyone carrying on. Gazman pulling the trigger early. He's looking for that extra grip. What's he put on? He's put on softs. He's topped right back up. He's topped himself up fully there. So that's an interesting strategy from Gazman, going early, boosted alpha. Will that force him into a move himself? 1/4 of a tank of fuel, the tyres looking quite tidy. Racer Brown on the super softs, even his tyres are still looking tidy at this point. He's catching up Dutch in the GT. Alphanut there in 3rd. Skyjacker ahead of Homesick Alien in 4th, with Alien in 5th. Noxie there in 6th. We thought he's catching him up. He's got himself up into the 34s now. A 34.7 on lap 8, 34.9 on lap 9. Homesick Alien a 35.7, a 35.7, 2 laps in a row. Late 35s for Skyjacker and Homesick Alien. That helps out. Ooh, there's such close racing there between these two American manufacturers. It's hard to pull away. We're 15.5 minutes into this 40-minute race. There's still so much more to come from these two. They're going to shag themselves right out early on in this long endurance race. And Skyjacker up to 4th with Homesick Alien in 5th. Noxie in 6th with Gazman after his pit stop out in 7th. Got lots of clean air. He's under no pressure from Jokus there in 8th place in his Corvette. He's also on the Super Softs. I didn't notice when he went onto the Super Softs. He perhaps started on the Super Softs. I apologise. I thought Racer Brown was the only guy out there on Super Softs, but also Jokus out there on the Super Softs. Rivixter in 9th place. We saw he was catching Nude Lester up early on the race. I didn't come back to check, but he has got past Nude Lester. He's in 9th. He's got 1/4 of a tank of fuel. He's doing his soft set at the moment. Nude Lester. That might be. Nude Lester's just been into the pits, I believe. He's on his out lap now. He's put some racing softs on at 3/4 of a tank of fuel. He's back out there again. And in 11th we have a Dutch. He's gone for the medium tyre. He has gone for the medium tyre on his last pit stop, and he's lost the back end. That GT40 is such... No, it's not a GT40, it's a Ford GT. Such a handful. Boosted Alpha leading. Racer Brown in 2nd place. Alphanut there in 3rd. Great 3rd place for him. There we see Skyjacker's fuel flashing Homesick Alien. He's got plenty of fuel. That Corvette, a thirsty car, and he's still trying to protect that 4th place from the Mustang, but he must have to come into the pits at the end of this lap, on lap 11, 17 minutes into this 40-minute race here at Yamagawa for round 2 of the Pacific Rim Championship. And Skyjacker and Homesick Alien fighting it out. They've had it coming together. Homesick Alien's off, and there goes Noxie. Noxie comes through. Noxie up into 4th place. He's been batting them lap times out, chasing Homesick and Skyjacker while they fought it out, and it's finally paid off for him. He's been able to get ahead of them. So Gazman also moving ahead of Homesick and Skyjacker. Skyjacker peeling off into the pits with that fuel, and Homesick Alien, the front end of his car damaged. And just he's cracking on. He's still got 1/4 of a tank of fuel. Like I said, still a long race, still everything to race for. It's not all over and done. There's Skyjacker in the pits. Joker's also coming into pits to get rid of those Super Softs, those Corvettes. They can't hold a tank of fuel. There is Rivixter in 9th place. He's coming along the start straight. Can he jump the 2 Corvettes with Nude Lester? A little bit further back than that, Dutch is into the pits to get rid of those medium tyres. I assume no grip whatsoever for the Ford GT. Now Boosted Alpha's petrol light has just come on and started flashing. Racer Brown, he's still got a bit of fuel there, and those Super Softs still look quite fresh. He's doing a 34.3. Great lap times from him. It's still Boosted Alpha that has the fastest lap with a 33.3, so we cannot imagine what he's going to do on those super soft tyres. Racer Brown then up into 2nd place. Alphanut in 3rd. Noxie is Oh, Noxie is under pressure from Gazman. Gazman's moved up to 4th. Oh no, Noxie must have had a rough lap, because now he's got a Homesick Alien attacking him, and Homesick Alien is moved up into 5th. Boosted Alpha has come into the pits, that fuel. And what will Racer Brown do? Will he carry on? He's gone in to get rid of his super soft tyres. So the 2 leaders in Alpha Nuts. He's still got a little smidgen of fuel left. He's on the racing softs. He'll be wise to come in. He's going to stay out. He's staying out. Playing the long game. Gazman, is he going to get back ahead of Racer Brown? It looks like he may do. Boosted Alpha is out of the pits into 2nd place ahead of Gazman. Homesick Alien up into 4th. Noxie in 5th. Racer Brown coming out of the pits in 6th place, but he has topped the fuel right up. The gauge is to maximum, captain. There is 7th place for Skyjacker. Rivixter up into 8th ahead of Jokers after Jokers' pit stop. Jokers not far behind Rivixter though, so he will be attacking him on those fresher tyres. Rivixter not coming into the pits. So Alpha Nut is your leader ahead of Gazman. That doesn't seem right, does it? Yes, Alpha Nut stayed out, didn't he? He's playing the long game. He's gone out. His fuel is flashing, so we assume he'll be in either this lap or next, with Boosted Alpha fighting it out with Gazman. Gazman trying to get up the inside. Boosted Alpha's tyres are a bit colder. He's got to get them warmed up, and Gazman already been out on a lap with his racing softs, or 2 laps, and he is on it. And he's got himself ahead of Boosted Alpha. Boosted Alpha losing places though. Homesick Alien, he's yet to pit. His fuel's flashing, but he has also got ahead of Boosted Alpha, and Noxie right there as well in the action. Great stuff here. Boosted Alpha trying to come back at the Alien. He's got fresher tyres than Homesick Alien, but Homesick Alien's car is a lot lighter, if that Ford Mustang could ever be lighter. So Alpha Nut carrying on. He's coming around the final corner. We're seeing to see if he comes in. We're seeing to see if he's going to come into the pits. I think that made sense. I've just spilled my latte as I tried to take a sip. Gazman then retakes the lead of the race. Boosted Alpha in 2nd. Noxie's come in. Homesick's come in. Alpha's come in. Skyjacker, can he gain some positions from all of these pit stops? He's coming around the final corner. It looks like Racer Brown up into 3rd spot. Noxie's in the pits. Homesick still. They're all stationary. Skyjacker's on the start straight. Alpha is back out. Alpha is up into 4th. Skyjacker looks like 5th for Skyjacker. 6th there. Noxie coming out of the pits. Noxie in 6th place behind Skyjacker, and Alpha and Homesick is there. No, Homesick's just ahead of Noxie. They came out virtually at the same time. Noxie though slightly ahead of Homesick Alien, with Skyjacker moving up into 5th, Alpha Nut taking up 4th, Racer Brown in 3rd, Boosted Alpha in a 2nd spot behind Gazman. Woo! Let me take a sip of my coffee. We'll run through the field. We'll have a good look at who is where. Oh yeah! So Gazman is leading your race on lap 14. We are nearly 22 minutes into this first part of a 40-minute race. And we have another 40-minute race after this also. So Gazman leading on lap 14 with Boosted Alpha, who was leading before the pit stops. Gazman is on a lot less fuel than Boosted Alpha. Boosted Alpha is out there in 2nd spot. He came out in the lead, but his tyres were a little cooler than Gazman, and Gazman managed to make the jump on Boosted Alpha. Racer Brown there in 3rd place, having an absolutely stunning race. He got caught behind Skyjacker on just some racing softs while Racer Brown was on the super soft tyres. But he soon got past him on about lap 5, and he's been pushing ever since. He's got himself up into 3rd ahead of Alpha Nut. There is Skyjacker in 5th place, with Homesick Alien and Noxie very close behind. Looks like them two are getting ready to battle it out in this stint. Maybe the final stint. It might be a one-stopper for these guys. Joker's there in 8th place. We saw he's done his super soft stint, as well as Gazman. No, sorry, Racer Brown, sorry. So as far as I know, Racer Brown and Jokers, the only two doing their super softs. Nude Leicester is in 9th place. He's not overly far from Jokers, but Jokers did a 38.4 his last time around, a 38.9 from Nude Leicester. They'll have to pick up the pace if he wants to catch up Jokers. Rivixter behind Nude Leicester there. It's not a massive amount, but his lap time's looking quite He's on the super softs, but he did a 42.9, which would have been his out lap. So this is the lap you would see. And then a Dutch in that GT car. He's on the hard tyres now. Every time I cut to him, he's trying out a different set of tyres for that bad boy. It must be ripping the tyres to pieces. He's not comfortable with something in the GT. So Boosted Alpha. Oh, Boosted Alpha's retaken the lead. I do apologise. Let me flick back. Oh dear. Did it about 50 seconds ago. So Boosted Alpha retaking the lead from Gazman. Gone through the chicanes, got a better drive out the chicane, up the hill. They're side by side, and Boosted Alpha taking the inside line. But can Gazman come back at him? Gazman there in the hairpin, up the inside. He's outbraked himself a little bit, and Boosted Alpha is up the inside, and that is how Boosted Alpha retook the lead of this race on lap 15. Well done, Boosted Alpha. Great move. Gazman just sitting in behind, waiting for an opportunity to come back at Boosted Alpha. We should sit on board, do a lap of Yamagawa, remind ourselves what the track is like. We've been playing for nearly 24 minutes, and only just now I think about doing a lap preview. It's good. So we're coming up to the long left right-hander. Ooh, I thought Gazman was going to run out of grip there, but he managed to stay on the grey stuff, chasing down a Boosted Alpha through the S's that are always going uphill. And we've got a really long sweep in, a left-hander, continuously. Full's going down the hill. Turning to the left, waiting. Now you can get the accelerator back on, down the hill, heading towards the chicane, the left-right chicane. There we go, heavily braking, taking as much care as you dare. And then it's back up the hill towards dogleg and then hairpin. The very, very sharp hairpin. Heavy onto the brakes. He's not losing time or catching time up with Boosted Alpha in front of him at the moment. Racer Brown, I can see his blue arrow on the map. It's getting closer. So down the hill through this tight bit. If you don't get that right, you're back out there in the barrier and heading up to the final corner of the lap. It's virtually a right-hand hairpin. And there you go. Back onto the start straight, and you can see visibly Boosted Alpha has pulled away from Gazman. So Boosted Alpha in first place. Yeah, that was his fastest lap. We should have sat on board with him for a 33.113. Fantastic there from Boosted Alpha. He is on it. Gazman then in second place with Racer Brown in third. Racer Brown's got a bit of damage on the front of his car. Looks like he's had an issue. It's also someone else spinning on the track. There we are. Oh no, Skyjacker down into 7th place. I don't know what happened, if he's had contact or if that's something he did himself. Oh, he's on his own. He's already down into 7th. We saw that he was ahead of Homesick, but he did a 144 last time around. Looks like he's struggling on that new set of soft tyres. That is crazy stuff. So Racer Brown, we might be able to see as I've gone back what he'd done to the front of his car now. I think it's already done. So we don't know, but Gazman means he can pull away. He has pulled away from Racer Brown, and Alpha not that far behind from Racer Brown now. Racer Brown's last lap of 43.3 with Alpha on his way. Skyjacker gone into the pits. Whatever it is, he's not happy with that car, and he's taken her into the pits to change something. So Alpha in 4th, Homesick Alien in 5th place, Noxie there in 6th, Jokus up into 7th, Skyjacker back out. He's just put another set of racing softs on, a bit more fuel. Not sure what could have been changed. Maybe he had an actual wheel issue in real life and he's had to go in and change that. Nude Leicester there in 9th place. It's looking like a little battle between Jokus, Nude Leicester and Skyjacker. They're not that far apart on track. And Rivixter catching them up, doing a 35.5 his last time around. Nude Leicester a 37.9 his last time. Skyjacker coming out of the pits and Jokus doing a 36.4. So there's 4 cars there, all getting very close together. And Dutch still struggling with that GT Ford. It's a beast. So Boosted Alpha, and there goes Gazman. He's popped into the pits for another stop. He's put the racing softs on. Boosted Alpha staying out there. He's got half a tank of fuel. We've got about 13 minutes left of racing, so he should be okay for fuel. Racer Brown in third place. He's got closer to Gazman, but that, whatever incident he had earlier, gave Gazman the opportunity to nip into the pits, top up with a bit of fuel, new tyres, and get out ahead of Racer Brown. Alpha Nut there in fourth place with Homesick Alien. Looks like he's starting to catch up the Honda at this point in the race. He did a 34.5 his last time around. Alpha Nut a 34.8, so it's very close on the pace. So I suppose as long as there's no mistakes, these guys should stay where they are. Noxie dropping back from the Mustang at the moment, ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker and Jokers, the two Corvettes, battling it out. Looks like Skyjacker getting past Jokers. And Nude Lester, he's not too far behind that battle, so he'll be wanting to get involved. He's just got to stay off them barriers if he can. Joker's there, he's out wide, and Skyjacker up into 7th spot, which he was before his pit stop, so he's lost nothing except for a bit of time and distance. Nude Lester in 9th, Rivixter in 10th. We think he's catching them up. 36.2 his last time round. Nude Lester 36.3, so nothing in it between lap times. And Dutch still on the hard tyres. He's put his hazard lights on. He's getting out of the way of the cars who are lapping him. Boosted Alpha then still leading by quite a way, with Gazman in 2nd spot, just ahead of Racer Brown. We're coming up to 29. We've just passed 29 minutes, so 11 minutes left of racing in this first part of the race. Then we will move into race 2 for another 40 minutes under a rolling start. Homesick Alien in 5th place, ahead of Noxie, who is ahead of Skyjacker in that Corvette. He's left Jokers behind, but Nude Lester is catching up at Jokers. Oh no, Nude Lester is going into the pits. So we'll go back to the lead for Boosted Alpha, who's miles ahead of Gazman at the moment. Gazman nipping into the pits. We don't believe Gazman has done a super soft stint yet. Racer Brown has done a super soft stint. We don't believe Boosted Alpha has either. So Racer Brown out of the leaders, the only one to use the super soft tyres so far. Alpha Nut there, he's getting purples. Coming around the last part of the track. The little queue of cars queuing up behind. Oh, it's a back marker between the two of those. I think it's Dutch. But Homesick Alien, he's got Noxie still for company. He can't make no mistakes all the time. He's got the Atenza there just behind. Skyjacker there in 7th spot. He's definitely got away from Jokers. Rivixter was catching up, well, Nude Lester, sorry, was catching up Rivixter. I mean Jokers, but he's had to come into the pits. And now he is chasing down Rivixter, who is on his super soft tyres at the moment. We saw Jokers did a super soft stint. Rivixter now on his super softs for the final part of this race. The last 10 minutes did a 35.5 on them, so he is good to go. And Nude Lester, he's put on racing softs again, and he's just doing his outlap to try and catch the guys up ahead of him. And Dutch sticking with those hard tyres, half tank of fuel. It's a tough race. That car handles like a pig sometimes, and trying to do it on the hard tyres with no grip whatsoever, it's a big ask. He just totally didn't do that chicane then, did he? And you can blame him on hard tyres, he's got no grip, guys. So Boosted Alpha crosses the line for lap 20, starting lap 21. Did a 34.1. He's got miles of distance ahead from Gazman, but come race 2 that will be closed back up and Gazman will be nipping at his heels. But neither Boosted Alpha nor Gazman have used the super softs, so maybe they will start the next race on the Super Softs. Racer Brown has used the Super Softs at the beginning of this race, but he dropped back to 5th, got stuck behind Skyjacker for a bit, and lost a bit of pace from the guys ahead of him. He's caught him up well though. He's only on the heels of Gazman. We've still got 7.5 minutes left of racing here, and as you can see, Racer Brown starting to pump in some purples. He'll be all over Gazman before the end of this race. Alpha Nut a little bit further back from them. We thought Homesick Alien was starting to catch him up, but it doesn't look like it. Alpha Nut's last lap, a 34.2. Homesick Alien, his fastest of a 34.3, but still not fast enough to catch up. Alpha Nut, Noxie dropping off from the Alien, but not by a lot. We see Jokers back into the pits, 7th place. Skyjacker, those Corvettes don't have a huge fuel tank, it seems. Rivixter crossing the line in 8th. Nude Lester moving ahead of Jokers also in his Ford Mustang, and there comes Jokers back out onto the track in 10th place in that Corvette, with less than 7 minutes left of this round to go. Boosted Alpha leading the way, a 33.7 his last time around. Gazman just coming up to the line. He did a 33.5, his fastest. He crosses the line at 34.1. Racer Brown though, 33.7. He is pushing the limits of that Mitsubishi Lancer, trying to catch up the Subaru ahead of him. Sit on board for a couple of laps, or a lap, to see from his POV. Like I said, we are coming up to only 6 minutes left of this 40-minute race for the Virtual Racers Club here at Yamagawa for our Thursday night league, the Pacific Rim Championship. And what a corker the first round was, and round 2 is not disappointing whatsoever at this point. Sitting on board with Racer Brown, hunting down 2nd place Gazman, the Subaru Impreza. They're going into the hairpin. There's nothing in it between them. There's so little left of the timer to run down. So Boosted Alpha crossing the line to start lap 23 with a 33.8. Somebody stop him, he is on fire. There is Gazman, only just getting onto the start straight. He's got Racer Brown in his mirrors. It's getting closer for the penultimate few laps of this race. Gazman crossing the line with a 33.8. Racer Brown a 33.8 also. Nothing between the two of them. Alpha Nut managing a 35.7 as he crosses, no, a 34.2, sorry, as he crosses the line. Homesick Alien, is he getting closer? It seems it. 34.9 he cannot be, because Alpha's doing faster lap times. Noxie there in 6th place. Skyjacker in 7th. Rivixter up into 8th place. His strategy coming together quite tidy in the end, putting himself ahead of Nude Lester. Jokers there in 10th. Dutch there in 11th. He's put some soft tyres on. There you go, 39.2. That's more comfortable. That's more fitting for that GT car. Some racy tyres. Boosted Alpha then leading the way from Gazman. Gazman under pressure from Racer Brown. Coming up to the end of race 1. I'm going to do race 2 yet. That's 40 minutes after this. Oh, I didn't know if you were waiting for me or something. Oh, so Boosted Alpha leading from Gazman. We've got Racer Brown there in 3rd. Boosted Alpha, Alpha Nut. How many Alphas are we going to end up in this championship? So Alpha Nut there in 4th place. Looks like a dead cert for him so far. Racer Brown and Gazman, they're the only two that seem to be edging closer together. Alpha Nut, He's pumping some lap times in now. He's in the 34s again, a 34.1. Homesick Alien, he just can't get that pace that Alpha's got. He's done a 35.1. He's dropping ground from Alphanut in the last few minutes of the race. Noxie there in 6th place. He'll take that. What did he get last race? So, where can I see a bit of Noxie? Oh, Noxie got 9th place last race, so 6th place for this round. Well, it's only halfway through though. Remember, these are not the final results. Still a lot of racing to go. Skyjacker there in 7th, with a Rivixter in 8th, ahead of Nude Leicester. Nude Leicester 35.2 last time round. Rivixter a 35.7. So it's only 10ths between the two of them, but they're not too far on the track. There you can see Rivixter in the distance. So Nude Leicester pushing, and Jokust in the same screenshot there. So these three, it's not over. They're just about to be lapped by Boosted Alpha. We saw coming around that final corner. Boosted Alpha into the pits. I thought, oh, so Gazman, he may also have to do a stop. We've got 2 minutes left of racing. He's going to continue. Boosted Alpha though, back out. He just needed a splash and dash, didn't even change his tyres. He just nipped in and took on a bit of fuel. Gazman staying in 2nd spot, not too far behind. And Racer Brown there, his fuel is flashing, but he feels he can continue for this lap, but they might get caught to do a lap again after this one. The Honda of Alphanut, tail happy into the first corner. He's got plenty of fuel, he's got no issues there. Homesick Alien in 5th place. We see him having some major battles out there with Skyjacker, with Noxie, with Racer Brown. But in the end, he's coming through. He's got a bit of clear space ahead of him and behind him. Just has to concentrate on his race. His fuel looks good. Noxie there in 6th. Fuel looks okay for the end of this race. Skyjacker in 7th. 8th is Rivixter, but he looked like he was kicking up some dust, and we know Nude Leicester is chasing him down, so Rivixter, he can't have too many offs. It looks okay from him at the moment. Joker's there, not too far behind either, in 10th. So how are the guys in the front? We saw Boosted Alpha nipped into the pits. The fuel on Gazman is flashing away, and so is Racer Brown. Alphanut, if they have to do another lap, we've got 30 seconds left. They're coming up to the corner, the final corner. They may have to do another lap. Does their cars have another lap? So here we can see Gazman, he's going to continue on. 15 seconds left of the race. They're both continuing on, they're both comfortable. There's enough fuel in that car to do this final lap. Here they go, crossing the line. Alphanut will be pushing like anything. He's got a bit more fuel than those guys ahead of him, but has he got the tyres? 34.4 from Alphanut. Racer Brown did a 36.4, so we think Racer Brown conserving fuel. He's 2 seconds off of the pace. Homesick Alien crosses the line in 5th place. Noxie finishing in 6th. Skyjacker coming around. Where's Boosted Alpha? I don't want to miss him crossing the line. So Skyjacker coming around the final corner. His fuel is flashing also. All of them only just making it. Gazman, his fuel is virtually nothing there. Racer Brown also, fuel barely there. Alphanut, he's not catching him up too much though. Skyjacker's crossed the line for 7th spot. Boosted Alpha, he's got plenty of fuel, he's fine, he's just going to run it home. It's these two that we're worried about, Gazman and Racer Brown. There you can see Alphanut in the background. He's definitely catching him up in the final throes of this race. Can Racer Brown make that fuel last? Can he keep that position? Gazman there in 2nd spot, just going for it, but there's no fuel in that car. He's coming up to the final corner. There we see Racer Brown, he's there, he's got no fuel in the car. Alphanut not far behind. This is crazy stuff. Boosted Alpha crossing the line for the win. Well done. There is Gazman, he's going to make it just about. Racer Brown also. Wow, there's nothing there. Gazman finishing in 2nd spot. Oh dear, I've pressed something I shouldn't. Racer Brown finishing there in 3rd. Hang on. Ah, too late, I missed it. Alright, then I'll just take you straight on to the next race. I tried to get onto the pause button so we could have a run through, but I was too late. So we'll just go straight to Race 2. We pretty much saw what we needed to see. Right then, another 40 minutes then. Pace car come out, closed the whole field back up, so it should be starting Boosted Alpha ahead of Gazman, who was ahead of Racer Brown, who was ahead of Alphanut, who was ahead of Homesick Alien, then Noxie, then Skyjacker. There we see, they're all just appearing on the screen. Oh, you'll see it here in a minute. If you pause YouTube, you can read it. Homesick, Noxie, Skyjacker, Rivixter 8th, Noodlester 9th, Jokers 10th, Dutch 11th. Art and Cantula is joining us halfway. I think they get half points if they can't make the first half of the race. So there we see Boosted Alpha on the front of the grid. It's a rolling start for another 40 minutes. In the chat, Racer Brown says Gazman and me had the same fuel. Great race. I didn't know you were going to make it, Racer Brown, but he did manage to maintain that third ahead of Alphanut. And there they go, Boosted Alpha on his racing softs. Gazman also opting to go for the racing softs. Racer Brown's already used the super softs, so he's on the racing softs. Alphanut also on the racing softs, with Homesick Alien staying on the racing softs. Noxie's opted for the super softs for the early part of race 2. Skyjacker on the softs just behind Noxie. Rivixter on the racing softs, with Noodlester also softs. Jokers we know definitely has used them. Dutch there in 11th for his GT, and Cthulhu joining us in his Mitsubishi. So Boosted Alpha under pressure early on from Gazman. Gazman trying to apply the pressure early, whilst Racer Brown in his Mitsubishi sitting just behind these guys watching. Into the chicane they go. No mistakes made so far. Everyone clean through. It's looking good from these guys. Beautiful stuff. Cthulhu already up into 9th ahead of Dutch. Looks like Noodlester and Jokers have had an issue. They're further back. I don't know if they've had it coming together. But up in the lead, Boosted Alpha maintaining that lead ahead of Gazman, with Racer Brown there in 3rd spot. He can't keep up with the 2 Subarus though. The Subaru's pace at this early point in the race is absolutely stonking, with Gazman ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown maintaining it ahead of the Honda of Alpha. Alpha looking like he's got some issues with the Ford Mustang. The Ford Mustang should be fast in a straight line. Down here is where you think he'd be attacking the Honda, but it seems even Stevens between the two of them. We saw their lap times at the end of the last race were virtually equal, with Alpha just a little bit faster than the Mustang. Skyjacker up into 6th ahead of Noxie. Those super softs not helping him early on in this race. Rivixter maintaining that 8th spot ahead of Cthulhu. Cthulhu on an absolutely flying dash, and Dutch there in 10th place keeping up with Cthulhu, and Noodlester. Jokers a little bit further back. Don't know what happened to those two. Let's have a little sip of my drink. Boosted Alpha getting purples, but so will everyone on the 2nd lap. And it looks like the attack that Gazman had for Boosted Alpha has worn off now. Boosted Alpha getting into his stride early doors. Oh no, Alphanut having an issue. Alphanut puts Racer Brown, Homesick Alien up into 4th, but Skyjacker's all over the Mustang. Noxie moving up into 6th, and there we see the ailing Honda getting back onto the track. The back end doesn't look like he wants to sit down. He's lost downforce at the front. And Fernando Cthulhu moving up into 7th spot ahead of the Honda. The Honda at the moment struggling, with Rivixter looking for a way past. Oh no, and there we see a Ford Mustang ailing in the background. Oh dear, was there contact there? Wow, it looked like he had a little jump. So Homesick Alien, after just getting up into 4th spot from Alphanut, having a barrier issue, he goes out wide and he loses the back end of the car, and it was nothing. Absolutely nothing, losing him all of those spots. Right down here comes another group of cars. He's getting himself out of the way, not to get in off the racing line, and there he goes, rejoins in 10th spot. Painful for the Alien. Boosted Alpha then, 32.8 on the first flying lap that he could manage, faster than everyone else. Gazman at 33.6, just under a second slower than Boosted Alpha at this point. Racer Brown at 34.6, Skyjacker up into 4th for the Corvette. They will be cheering down in the Chevrolet garage. They are dancing, they're doing the samba. It's crazy stuff. So Skyjacker up into 4th, being chased by the Mazda Atenza of Noxie. Noxie in serious business here, looking like he's got a good place today if he keeps it clean and tidy. He's on the super softs now, chasing down Skyjacker. He managed a 34.3 his last time around, with Skyjacker doing a 34 dead. So he just needs to pick that pace up a little bit and get ahead of Skyjacker. Here we have some racing down in the field. We've got Alphanut and Catula fighting each other for 6th and 7th. Alphanut looks like he's just got himself ahead of Catula. We saw Catula earlier just getting past Alphanut after Alphanut's spin, and now they're racing each other into the hairpin. The Mitsubishi better in the corners, we'd say, and he has swooped up the inside of the nut, but the nut is coming back. That Honda seems to have a bit of straight line on the Mitsubishi, but the Mitsubishi so much better in the corners than the Honda. Just further back you can see Dutch in 8th ahead of Rivixter. Dutch having a better second half of the race this time round. He's on the racing soft tyres. Oh, sorry, I just asked, you never know. Oh, my lovely sweet wife, who's doing the washing up because she caters for all our needs in this house and does everything for us, popped in to say hello, and I pointed to my latte cup and she said F off. And this is really close to Valentine's Day, so it will reflect badly on my gift choosing for Valentine's Day. So Boosted Alpha there leading the way between our domestics in the thingamajig household. Just wanted a coffee, that was all. I thought you were coming in to offer. I thought that's why I was pointing to the glass, show you where it was. Give me a shovel, boys, I'll dig a hole. Boosted Alpha leading the way from Gazman, but there's a little crew behind. Racer Brown not far, and Skyjacker, then Noxie. Oh, tasty in this second half of the race. We're only 6 minutes into the second part of round 2 at Kyoto Driving Park Yamigawa for the Pacific Rim Championship under the Virtual Racers Club umbrella, something like that. So Boosted Alpha crossing the line for lap 4 to start lap 5 at 33.2 from Boosted Alpha. He hasn't been out the 33s yet. Gazman managing a 33.9 with Racer Brown a 33.7. Nothing in it between the top 3 Jack cars. There is the top Yank. It's the Chevy. And he's just about staying ahead of Noxie, whose super softs are really kicking in now. They are super sticky, and he wants to get past. He feels like what Racer Brown felt like in the first race when he was stuck behind the Chevy on his super softs. Skyjacker, one of the most defensive, best defensive drivers I've seen in the club. He can really stick a car on the apex and in the way. So Noxie trying to find a way past the Chevy. Shall we have a little see what it's like from his point of view on lap 5 here at round 2 of the Pacific Rim Championship? The Americans versus the Japanese. What car manufacturer will come out on top? Subaru. It looks like Subaru is doing very well so far. The last 2 rounds, there's racing ahead. There's racing ahead. What's that? Racer Brown on Noxie. Sorry, let me go back up and have a look here. Racer Brown and Gazman. Sorry, not Noxie. Noxie's the one we were sitting on board with. So Racer Brown taking second spot from Gazman. Racer Brown absolutely on fire. 30 won the first round. And it's side by side going down the start straight. Racer Brown at 34.8 his last time around. Gazman's around the outside in the Subaru. It's Subaru v Mitsubishi. That battle's never ended. The ongoing fight between the two, usually in rally, but here we're doing it on the track. And it's the Subaru slightly ahead of the Mitsubishi. There we go. Gasman taking the spot back from Racer Brown. Racer Brown giving it his all. Absolutely pushing into these corners. Beautiful racing from Gasman and Racer Brown. Fantastic stuff. Skyjacker still managing to keep Noxie behind, with Alphanut there in 6th. Catula up into 7th with a recovering Homesick Alien. We saw him spinning earlier. Looks like he's trying to get up the inside of the Mitsubishi Lancer, and as he pulled it off, the Mitsubishi Lancer is out wide. Catula has dropped behind Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien a 34.1 his last time around, with Catula doing a 35.6. Dutch there in 9th, 35.7 from Dutch. He's having a great race this second half. Rivixter pushing him all the way though. Rivixter just on his back, trying his hardest to chase down the GT. And there he goes, he's up the inside of Dutch around the hairpin. The Subaru with a better mid-corner grip. There's Nude Leicester in the Mustang, not far behind, and Joker's not having a great second half of the race. So Boosted Alpha, Gasman, Racer Brown not too far behind in the chat. Racer Brown, these laps were great with Gasman. He says he absolutely was having a ball with the Gazov man in his Subaru and Mitsubishi, battling it out. We're 10 minutes virtually into race 2 here, with Skyjacker still maintaining that spot ahead of Noxie. Noxie giving it his all on those super softs. They've got themselves a nice bit of distance from Alphanut. Alphanut ahead of Homesick Alien. We saw Alphanut and Homesick Alien having early race dramas with curbs and such what. Cthulhu, a 36.0 from Cthulhu last time around. He's got half a tank of fuel. Dutch there in 9th spot, not that far behind the guys ahead of him. Rivixter, I thought we saw Rivixter getting ahead of Dutch, so Dutch has come back out Rivixter at some point. And Nude Leicester in 11th, 37.4 last time around from him. Joker's a 35, he's got a good pace. He's faster than Nude Leicester, so he might catch Nude Leicester up. There's quite a big distance between them though. A chasm of space between them. Oh my word. Boosted Leicester doing a 32.7 now on lap 6. So some crazy pace out of Boosted Alpha. He's absolutely flying. 33.2 his last time around. Gasman with his hands full with Racer Brown, crossing the line with a 33.6 with Racer Brown at 33.2, which is Racer Brown's fastest so far in the race. We're on lap 8 here of this second 40-minute race. The points only count at the end of this race, so really it's like an hour and 20-minute race split in the middle with a pace car to close the group back up again. So Racer Brown faster again, chasing down Gasman. This is where the main racing is. Skyjacker and Noxie. Noxie looking like he's ready to make a move on Skyjacker. Shall we set aboard the Noxie in his Altenza? There he goes, he's going to make the move now. They're alongside each other, you can just see the front of the Chevy. Oh, Noxie just a little bit earlier on the brakes, conceding the corner. He just backed off a little bit there. He had the better line. I thought he was going to do it. Oh, Noxie, you let the fear take over, man. Should have just gone in there, balls are blazing, late on the brakes, done the Chevy. But Boosted Alpha then leading the way ahead of Gasman. But Gasman, hands full, hands always full in most of this race from this boy Racer Brown. He takes no prisoners. He's right on to the back of the Subaru now, grabbing a beautiful toe down at the start straight. He's pulled out. Gasman taking the defensive line. They're side by side. Gasman squeezing him a little bit. Racer Brown having to back off, but he's going to go for the undercut. He's going for the undercut. He's going underneath. He's going underneath. He's going to make it stick. There he is. He's up into second spot. Great stuff from Racer Brown. Fantastic move. Gasman back onto the tail of Racer Brown, coming back at him straight away. He's got to make the move early and don't let Racer Brown get into a rhythm, or else he will start flying. So Gazman looking, but Gazman's still got the ace up his sleeve. He has not done the super soft stint yet, where Racer Brown has done the super soft. Gazman's hanging it out to the back of the curb there. And these two are still racing, carrying on lap 9. We are now nearly 13.5 minutes into this second race here at Kyoto Driving Park at Yamagiwa. I don't know. It's hard to get that I and W in. Yamagiwa. But Racer Brown looking like he's managed to pull himself a little bit away from Gazman. Gazman trying to come back, maybe try and pull the same move that Racer Brown did to him. Coming up along the start straight, getting right on the back end of the Mitsubishi. But it looks like he's a little bit too far back. He's going to get a bit of a tow. Sorry, that's so annoying. He usually stays in car. Maybe I'm pressing the wrong button. Oh, he's sweeping grip there through that corner, scrubbing the tyres sideways. It can't be helping him. And there we see Racer Brown getting a smoother drive through the first corner, pulling away. This must be frustrating for Gazman. But there at the top of the hill, it feels like we're getting a bit closer to Racer Brown. We are pushing our little heinies off at the moment. Noxie's ahead of Skyjacker. I apologise. I do apologise. I don't know when it happened, but there he is. Noxie ahead of Skyjacker. I won't go flicking around for it. It could have happened ages ago. A few laps ago I last looked at those guys. But there we see Noxie is 4th place ahead of Skyjacker. So Noxie having a fantastic race on those super softs. Skyjacker, I don't believe, has used the super softs yet. We know that Chevy's fuel tank aren't great, so he will have to pit before the Noxie. The Noxie, just stick to your guns, my friends. Stay out there. And it's Zach's ice lesson. Sorry, that's nothing to do with you guys. That's something to do with our own home lives. I'm going to mute it while I shout out about my son's ice skating lesson. They do it on iPad. They just bounce around the living room. No ice involved in it anymore. It's going to be so weird when he actually gets back on the ice. I don't think he's going to be able to use it. Gazman into the pits. He likes an early pit stop. So Racer Brown continuing on. Skyjacker on the start straight. Can Gazman get out? He's dropped behind Noxie. Noxie's back. Skyjacker's back ahead of Noxie. I apologise. I am missing bits, worrying about my son's ice skating lesson. I'm missing all sorts of bits and bobs in this race. Skyjacker up into 3rd ahead of Noxie in 4th place, with Gazman coming out of the pits in 5th ahead of Alphanor. Also pitting there we see Dutch and Cthulhu. Rivigster moving up into 8th place there on his racing softs. Dutch just getting some fuel and pits. Is that fuel tank not great for the, GT4? GT Ford does not hold fuel very well. EcoBoost my butt, Mr. Ford. So there we see Joker's a Chevy, not topped up with fuel so far. Boosted Alpha, he'll have to pit soon. It's immediate jump class. I want to mute because no one seems to be doing anything about the ice skating lesson. One sec. I'm an hour early on the ice skating lesson, apparently. No one answered me when I said ice skating lesson, but apparently. Okay. Boosted Alpha then, leading from Racer Brown. This is why I do these at the middle of the night. So Skyjacker, Skyjacker, Gazman, look at this train of cars. My word, isn't this fun? So we're on board with Gazman. We're trying to get up the outside of Noxie. Noxie maintaining that inside line. Gazman's put super softs on. Yeah, because Gazman hasn't done super softs yet. So Gazman now doing his super soft stint, obviously. He's all over the back of Noxie. He wants to get on. All the time he's losing space and time behind these guys. Boosted Alpha, excuse me, can get in and out before Gazman catches him back up. We are 18 minutes into this race. We're through past Noxie. We give Skyjacker a little tap on the back, but it hasn't affected the racing. It seems Boosted Alpha still out there. Racer Brown still out there. There we see Skyjacker. He's got no fuel virtually, and Gazman harrying his best to try and get through, and Noxie also trying to get through. It's 3 wide going up the hill. Skyjacker leading from Gazman, and there we see Noxie's taken 3rd place from the 2 of them. Noxie up into 3rd. And it's crazy racing here with the Chevy on the outside of Noxie. Skyjacker there in 4th and Gazman there in 5th. He just does not want to lose this time, guys. He really needs to get past you. He's in the race, so he's going to lose a place to Racer Brown at this point. There is Boosted Alpha into the pits. Racer Brown carrying on, taking the lead of the race. Noxie in 3rd. Gazman up into 4th. Skyjacker, he's dropped behind all of them now. And it looks like Skyjacker will go into the pits. Where will Gazman come out? He's come out behind Boosted Alpha. Boosted Alpha is come out into 2nd spot, just ahead of Noxie. But Noxie are moving around the outside of Boosted Alpha. Boosted Alpha's got to get used to the new tyres. He's put the super softs on. There's Gazman moving up to the back of Boosted Alpha. They've both gone ahead of Noxie. Noxie didn't want to be part of that battle. He said, "You go, boys. Nothing to do with me at that one." So Boosted Alpha in 2nd ahead of Gazman, but Gazman trying everything he can. Subaru v Subaru. Who will come out on top? So far Boosted Alpha has had all of the answers, but Gazman's been very close indeed. It's a close call to who's going to win this. Can Racer Brown's strategy do him a big one? And can he take the 2nd win in a row? Or Boosted Alpha, who has led most of the 1st race and this race, can he come out on top? He's ahead of Gazman, who's been mainly in 2nd spot until recently, when Racer Brown just pipped him to take 2nd place away. Then Gazman came into the pits. Noxie staying out there on those super softs. Alpha up into 5th ahead of Homesick Alien. Neither of these two pitted yet. Skyjacker, he's been in and he's put the super softs on. He's doing his super soft stint. We are 19.5 minutes left of racing. There goes Racer Brown. Racer Brown has to put the racing softs on, whilst the 2 behind him are on the super softs. Flying now. So far Boosted Alpha has got the fastest lap with a 1:32.7. There you saw Racer Brown peeling off in the background, same as a Noxie. Sorry, it was Noxie peeling off in the background. So Boosted Alpha retakes the lead ahead of Gazman, with Homesick Alien staying out there and taking 3rd place. Meanwhile, everyone else into the pits. There comes Racer Brown. He's coming back out the pits in 4th place ahead of Homesick Alien. Behind Homesick Alien, sorry. Skyjacker taking 5th from Noxie. Noxie only just coming out the pits behind Skyjacker. So there you go, Skyjacker on those super softs, pulling away from Noxie. Alpha Nut coming out of the pits on the super soft, just behind Noxie in 6th place. I'm concerned for Noxie. He was in a great position earlier, looking like 4th was on for him. At the moment he's got 6th, but Alpha Nut is a scary man to have behind you, and he's not far behind. Katula behind Alpha in 8th, not that far behind Alpha also. He's on his super soft stint at the moment. Rivixter in 9th ahead of Nude Lester, but not much. His last lap was he's just done an out lap, so he's just pitted. Nude Lester, he's on the racing softs. Rivixter on the racing softs. Dutch not far behind them also. Looks like, he had a bad lap, the last lap of 1:45. Yeah, we've seen Dutch, he's been mainly in 9th most of this race, so looks like he had a bad lap the last time around, did a 1:45.9. Boosted Alpha leading the way with 18 minutes left of the race to go, ahead of Gazman in 2nd. They're both on their super softs. We've got Homesick Alien under pressure from Racer Brown. Homesick Alien needing to pit the next time around. Racer Brown not wanting to lose time. He is only on the racing softs though. The guys ahead of him on the racing super softs. And maybe, just maybe, by the end of this stint their racing softs will be running out. And there you go. That's how easy it is for Racer Brown on the fresh tyres, just to nip up the inside of the Mustang. And I imagine Homesick Alien not wanting to lose time racing Racer Brown anyway. It's because Skyjacker is the one he wants to get out of in front of, as well as a Noxie and Alpha Nut, all quietly spaced out. And I thought, Skyjacker will have to pit again before the end of the race, I believe. Half a tank of fuel there. and we know those Chevys get through that fuel. So at this point in the race, with 17 minutes to go, we've got Boosted Alpha on 3/4 of a tank of fuel doing his super soft stint. Gazman also only on 1/4 of a tank of fuel on his super soft stint. He's gone for a light car with those super softs. He did a 33.6 his last time around, where Boosted Alpha a 33.2. Racer Brown, he's topped it right up. He's going till the end in that 3rd place, risking that the 2 ahead of him may have to nip into the pits before the end of the race for a top up. And Racer Brown aiming to go all the way. Homesick Alien, he's made a tank last nearly 23 minutes, 24 minutes. And he's now going in, so this will easily be a one-stopper for him. I don't know if he's used the super softs. I don't think he has. So we should see the super softs go on. Skyjacker is poised to take over 4th place. He did a 33.7 his last time around, a 34.3 this time around. He's moved up into 4th place, with Noxie getting a 5th. Alpha Nut, that's who Homesick was racing against, he's moved up into 6th spot. Katula there in 7th. Is he in 7th? Homesick Alien coming out in 8th. Homesick Alien topped right up. I don't think he needed that much fuel. But Homesick Alien coming out of the pits, only 15 and a half minutes left of racing. Then he's topped up with a lot of fuel there. We will see. We'll keep an eye on that. There is Rivixter in 9th place. Dutch getting ahead of Nude Leicester for 10th. Nude Leicester down in 11th. His last lap was his fastest though, a 35.7. So I'm not sure how him and Dutch swapped over. Dutch is saying he did a 42.4 in his last time around, so I'm missing something. Oh, there, 49.1 for Nude Leicester. So it looks like Nude Leicester had a rough lap that last time around, giving Dutch the 10th spot, and Joker's down there. He's done a good lap of a 35.6 though on lap 12. So he had the pace today, did Joker's, but something early on in the race happened, putting him right quite far back. Boosted Alpha, he's not a major million miles ahead of Gazman. Gazman doing his fastest lap, the last lap, a 33.4, whereas Boosted Alpha doing a 33.5. Nothing in it between the two of them, but we know Gazman will have to revisit the pits pretty soon. And they're quite a good distance ahead of a Racer Brown. Racer Brown a 33.6 his last time around. Skyjacker in the Chevy, they're in 4th. He's having a fantastic race, but we do think he's going to have to nip into the pits before the end of the race. Noxie, he's under all sorts of pressure from Alpha Nut. I did say having Alpha Nut behind you on the super softs is a scary situation. Alpha Nut going for the inside line of the hairpin, and he's made it stick already. Noxie thinking of coming back, but Alpha on those super soft tyres, absolutely amazing grip. He's getting purples, he's going for the purple. The fastest lap at this point in the race is Sky Alpha Nut. So Noxie just sitting back and watching, hoping that the super softs go off before the end of the race. And we're just coming up to about 13 minutes left of racing to go, and then I'm going to go and watch WandaVision. So I haven't seen this week's episode yet. I'm really looking forward to it. So Boosted Alpha there leading the way from Gazman, who's dropped back a little bit from him. Oh, thank you. That's my latte that I asked for earlier. Gazman's fuel starting to flash now. Boosted Alpha, plenty of fuel in that car now. Gazman second, Racer Brown there in 3rd place, still quite a bit of fuel to go. Katula's come back into the pits. Katula in, fuel flashing. Rivixter is quite a way behind, but maybe enough to catch up and get on the back of the Spaniard for 8th place. Katula topping up with fuel. Homesick Alien back in 7th on those super soft tyres. He's done his fastest with a 33.538. Noxie's last time around was a 35.0. Alpha Nut flying with a 32.9. You'd think that was the fastest lap, but Boosted Alpha, I imagine, has got that. Can't see. Hasn't got no purples there. Gazman a 33.4, but his fuel is flashing. He's going to have to come into the pits. Racer Brown rubbing his hands. They're going to be very close together, I imagine. If I was Gazman, I wouldn't change the tyres. I don't know if he's allowed to do that, though. I don't know if it's the same set of tyres. If you can just continue if you don't change your tyres or what. Maybe to be on the safe side, he'll change his tyres just to be sure. But Gazman into the pits, the tyres were changed. The fuel is getting topped up, and there is a Racer Brown retaking that second spot. And he thinks happy days. So Boosted Alpha leading the way. Half a tank of fuel with virtually only 11 minutes left of racing. Racer Brown moving up into second. Gazman rejoining, back in third. Just over half a tank of fuel he's gone with. Skyjacker will need to pit pretty soon, and he's not that far ahead of Alpha. Alpha got half a tank of fuel. I think that should be enough, you know. Noxie just over half a tank of fuel, so Skyjacker could drop behind Alpha and Noxie and be somewhere around the Homesick Alien area. Homesick Alien on a blistering set of laps at the moment, a 33.5, a 33.9. He's up again. So Homesick Alien flying at this point in the race. We saw Catula pit in. He's managed to come back out on the Super Softs. Did we not see him on Super Softs before? Not sure. Not sure what's going on there. I can't remember that clearly. But Rivixter in 9th place on the soft tyres. Nude Leicester has pitted. Dutch back up into 10th spot. Nude Leicester coming back out the pits in 11th, and Joker's there. He's just coming up to the start straight. He's not that far behind Nude Leicester. He's got a nice lot of fuel in there. Nude Leicester's probably topped up enough to go all the way till the end. 10 minutes left of racing now. Boosted Alpha is ahead of Racer Brown, and my word, he is a mile ahead of Racer Brown. Gazman there in third. Skyjacker then going into the pits. It says Alpha already moving up into 4th spot. There is a Noxie in 6th. Holmes at 5th now. 6th place. Homesick Alien. Skyjacker only just moving. He's going to come out behind the Mustang, and there he is. He is behind the Mustang of Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien, we believe, is running all the way to the end of the race. The Skyjacker really got to pull the stops out there. Noxie, we think, is going until the end, and so is Alpha Nut on his Super Softs. So Boosted Alpha then, will he have to come in? We're not sure. He did need to just sort of nip in the first part of the round. Racer Brown up into 2nd spot. Brilliant stuff from Racer Brown. Gazman feeling like he's lost something here, but he's had an almighty race. Alpha Nut is not overly that far behind Gazman. 34.0 for Alpha Nut last time around. 35.6 from Gazman after his pit stop. So that was an outlap. He's only on the soft tyres, where Alpha Nut is on the Super Softs. He's been on them for a few laps, and now Noxie there in his Atenza, and there, I thought I was going to get the same camera angle there. Oh, his Homesick Alien. Skyjacker just coming around that corner in his Chevy, and Catula is a little bit further back, so we're not going to get that shot. In 8th spot though, great stuff from Catula. I'm not sure about his tyres. Rivixter, when you watch back, you'll have to keep an eye on what tyres he's on. Rivixter there in 9th spot with Nude Leicester. Nude Leicester having a couple of rough laps, 42 and a 43. Jokers is up to 11th ahead of Dutch. I don't know if Dutch has had a rough one. We see Racer Brown just lapping Jokers, and there, oh, a 58.5. Oh, he's just pitted. He's put his Super Softs on, and he's back out again. But there's a couple of laps before his pit stop, 46 and a 40. Looks like it's helped Jokers. He doesn't like that chicane, I think, doesn't Dutch? So Boosted Alpha leading by a country mile ahead of a Racer Brown. Racer Brown just bringing her home. We've got 7 minutes left of racing. Gazman there in third. They're all nicely spaced out. Alphanut pushing to try and catch up with Gazman. Gazman at 33.8 his last time around. 34.2 from Alphanut. Noxie there, great 5th place. I was nervous about Noxie's position, but with Skyjacker's pit stop, he's put him right up there in a great points position. Homesick Alien there in 6th place. And Skyjacker 35. Oh, that was an outlap. It'll be the next lap, we can tell. Homesick Alien was doing 33s. He's dropped into the 34.3 this last lap. Those super softs probably not as sticky as they were. So he crosses the line with a 34.8. Skyjacker behind him, managing a 34.1. So Skyjacker's slowly pulling in the Mustang at this point in the race. Catula a little bit further back from them with Rivixter in 9th. Joker's there in 10th spot with Nude Leicester 11th ahead of Dutch, but they're all around the same straight, so you never know. Boosted Alpha, 6 minutes left of racing, leading this race. He has dominated this round so far. He's had a great race. He's got quarter of a tank of fuel left, which I believe is, no, I'm talking to the commentary. He's got quarter of a tank of fuel left, which I believe is more than enough to get him to the end. A 34.2 from Boosted Alpha. Racer Brown coming up to the line. Can he do some similar? It's a 33.9. He is faster, but he's just so far behind. I don't think there's anything he can do in the last 5 minutes. Gazman, he's not as far behind Racer Brown, a 34.1 his last time around. Alphanut just crossing the line now to do a 34.6. Noxie crossing the line to do a 35.1. Homesick Alien was the one that was alien, a 34.5. He's got Skyjacker, 33.9 from Skyjacker. Skyjacker really on a push. He wants that 6th spot from Homesick Alien. Catula back in 8th. Quite a way ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter quite a way ahead of Jokers. Jokers making himself up into 10th. He was at the back of the pack for most of this race, and now near the end he seems to have pulled himself up into 10th ahead of Nude Leicester. And Nude Leicester is being hunted by a Dutch in the final throes of this race. 4 minutes left of racing. Boosted Alpha a million miles ahead of Racer Brown. There's nothing Racer Brown can do with the last 4 minutes of this race. He may be going quicker, but it's just not enough. He needs a Boosted Alpha to go into the pits. So Boosted Alpha nipping into the pits. That's an interesting. We saw him do this similar tactic. He didn't change the tyres last time, and again he hasn't changed the tyres, just topped up the fuel, managed to maintain that 1st place. Very interesting tactic. And then Racer Brown continuing on. He's got plenty of fuel, but he's closed the gap up. Interesting stuff then here. Boosted Alpha keeping those old tyres on. And Racer Brown staying out there on the softs a little bit closer. Gazman closing in, quarter of a tank of fuel. He did a 34.6 his last time around. Alpha did a 33.8, so Alpha not really trying to catch up, but it's miles apart between Gazman and Alpha. Noxie still maintaining that 5th place. Homesick Alien and Skyjacker, they're at it. They're at it on the track. Skyjacker has caught up. Homesick Alien on those super softs, starting to feel the pinch with the grip. A 34.9 last time round for Homesick Alien, and a 34.3 for the Chevy of Skyjacker. So Skyjacker all over the Mustang, trying to get that final 6th position before the flag comes out in 2.5 minutes of racing. This is fantastic stuff here. A quick look to see, oh, I don't want to pull away too soon. They'll just get through this chicane. They both make it through cleanly. Now Skyjacker trying to get a tow up the hill. There's nothing in it between the two of them. Skyjacker trying to make the move on the outside of the hairpin. Homesick Alien managing. Can Skyjacker pull it round and go up? He's got a bit better grip on those soft tyres. I think Homesick Alien's starting to feel the pain of the old tyres, and Skyjacker really applying some pressure to the Alien at the moment. And you can see Noxie just up the road. Quick look at, yes, Dutch has got past the Nude Leicester. We saw him chasing him down, and he has managed to get past a 36.4 from Dutch, and Nude Leicester at 37.6 his last time around. Let's go back to that battle of Homesick Alien and Skyjacker for 6th and 7th. Skyjacker going around the outside of the long sweeping corner. Does he have the grip for it? It looks like he may do. Skyjacker up into 5th, and he's made it move. He made the move around the outside. Fantastic stuff. Homesick Alien on the old super soft tyres down into 7th spot. Oh, poor Homesick Alien. Those tyres are really starting to look shot. Cthulhu too far back though to do anything now. Homesick Alien just trying to stay on the back of the Chevy. Boosted Alpha, we saw, nipped into the pits. Did a 36.7 after that. 33.6 from Racer Brown, with 40 seconds left of this race. They're going to cross the line to do another lap quite easily. So there goes a Boosted Alpha. 30 seconds of this race to go. Racer Brown crossing the line in 2nd spot. Gazman, 20 seconds left of the race. He gets 3rd. He's crossed the line, I mean, for another lap. Alpha Nut coming. His fuel is flashing, and he also gets across the line. With only 5 seconds to go, can Noxie get across, or is he going to slow down? The time has run out. So Noxie crossing the line in 5th place. Well done, Noxie. Brilliant stuff. Skyjacker gets 6th. Homesick Alien gets 7th. Looks like Cthulhu is going to get 8th place. There's no one near him. With Rivixter there in 9th. Joe Cass in 10th. 11th for Dutch. 12th there for Nude Leicester. Let's have a look how these boys are doing. Racer Brown not too far behind. Gazman there in 3rd. It looks like everyone's going to stay in the positions that they are in. Boosted Alpha then coming up to the last sector. And Racer Brown, there's Cthulhu's finished in 8th. Rivixter just crossing the line now for 9th place. Joker's coming around now, I think. Oh, I don't want to mix our numbers up here. Boosted Alpha. Yeah, Boosted Alpha is ahead, sorry. So Boosted Alpha coming across to take the win overall of round 2 and full points. There you go. Congratulations, Boosted Alpha. Racer Brown, another great run for him for the 2nd podium position. And here comes Gazman. Gallant day for Gazman. 3rd place. Take a boo, my son. And Alpha Nut coming around to finish in 4th. I am going to pause it actually because I just saw someone going across. Hang on. Nude Leicester. He's there. Alpha is... Ooh. Okay. Let Alpha cross. Alpha Nut crossing the line in 4th spot. Fantastic stuff. And there I saw Nude Leicester just coming around the final corner. So... your final positions for round 2 of the Pacific Rim Championship here at Kyoto Driving Park Yamigawa was Boosted Alpha taking the win from his great, I think, 2nd spot from last week in the Subaru. Oh, we really missed Shadow Rider this week. Would have been interesting to see how he would have done. Racer Brown taking the 2nd spot in this race after the win from last week at Autopolis. And at Yamigawa, he takes 2nd place. Then 3rd for Gazman, doubling up on his 3rd from last week. Well, it's not last week, but the last race at Autopolis. Oh, sorry, I should go through them. I'm there talking about them. So there, Racer Brown, fantastic 2nd. 3rd place from Gazman. Alpha Nut an awesome 4th place. Alphanut to go with his 5th from last week. Solid points there from the Honda driver. In 5th place, well done, Noxie. Awesome place. Good points position there for Noxie in the Mazda team. In 6th, it's the top American boy, Skyjacker, in his Chevy Corvette. So, Skyjacker, he got 8th last round and 6th this round. It's moving in the right direction there for the Chevy team. 7th spot there for the Ford Mustang team. Homesick Alien, 7th place. I will find you. He got 6th last week, so dropped a position. In 8th, Cthulhu. He'll only get half points for this, but 8th place, not bad at all. Where is he? Oh, he's not written down. Was he not here last week then? He obviously was not racing with us last week. Cthulhu, I'll just write you down. And you get 8th spot with a DNF the week before. And you're in a Mitsub. There you go. Look at me doing clerical work as we go. In 9th, we have a Rivixter. He got 12th last week, so he'll be bouncing over 9th, I imagine. Brilliant stuff from Rivixter. 10th spot for Jokers. That's a crap shot. There you go. Oh, yeah, that's good. So, 10th for Jokers, which equals his last week's finishing position also. 11th for Dutch. I think that's 11th for Dutch equals his last week's position. And Nude Leicester, he wasn't here last week in the Ford. Nude Leicester, oh, God. There you go. Nude Leicester for this Ford Mustang in his first race here with us. Congratulations and welcome. Great stuff. 12th position. So, no. Oh no, I have got Cthulhu. He finished 7th last week. For some reason I've written him in as Hula. The K and the T have merged together to make a H. So I apologise, Cthulhu. You were here last week. You got 7th and 8th this week. So I wrote your name in for no reason. There you go. I'll write that K in a bit more clearer. KT. There you go. You're in there a lot clearer now. So back to Boosted Alpha to say a huge congratulations to Boosted Alpha. That was round 2 of the Pacific Rim Championship at Kyoto Driving Park, Yamigawa. Remember to hit like and subscribe for my ego on YouTube. It all adds to how big my head can get. It doesn't, honestly. Just, I don't know. It helps, apparently, somehow. Somehow it's good for views if you hit like and subscribe. Comment if you want. Call the commentator names. It's all very good. Keep an eye out for the next round of the Super GTs, and we also still have a round of this Pacific Rim Championship to cover. Then on Sunday nights we've got the Formula X going out live, and check out the MX5s that we did on Friday evening live. That was all cracking stuff. There's nothing more to say than I was your broadcaster and commentator Justin Hermouth. Thank you for listening. I will catch you later. Bye. Cheerio. Boy. Adios.